I got some tea to spill, so if you're ready to chill, take a Jill pill.
Hey, guys, welcome back to Take a Jill Pill. How's it going? How was your week? What's going on? I wish you could answer me right now. I hope you're answering me wherever you are. Thank you guys, by the way, for sending. So many of you sent pictures like I demanded, send me a picture of where you're listening from. Man, I got pictures of Salt Lake City in the mountains and England, Canada. I mean, the treadmill. Guys, you're killing it out there. I just want to say that. So thanks for sharing. We've got a lot to talk about this week because as these episodes, as we've done a few now, you guys are like, hey, I want to talk about this. And we, covering stuff from last week. So it's building. I love it. You guys are in my DMs like never before, which is so fun. And we got a lot to talk about, guys. So here's a little overview before we get into it. We're going to discuss the Dunkin' Donuts glove. There's so much more there, but I'm going to say that and leave it at that. We're going to talk about aliens because I told you I wanted to talk about aliens this week and space a little bit. And we're going to have a top 5 list that's really fun. I'm actually very excited about this top 5 list. I can't wait. I kind of want to do it right now, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to let it happen naturally. And then we're going to do some questions. You guys are bringing the questions, I will say. And who knows what else we'll get into because it could go anywhere really, but that's kind of the outline. And then I'll of course leave you with some parting words. Are we liking the parting words? Is it too serious? Maybe I need to chill out a little bit. I'm not trying to be your therapist or anything. So, okay, that's it. Let's go. First, I want to acknowledge Carolyn and Jim. I'm not going to, guys, don't get a big head about this, Carolyn and Jim, but I'm going to play a little clip because I told you guys that they made their own podcast. Not really, but it's called We Took a Jill Pill and they just respond to me. And so here's a little clip of them responding. And then once I talked about them on the podcast, they felt very good about themselves. So here's a little, just to give you a little taste.
Hi, this is Carolyn Snell and
Jim Homan.
Welcome to our podcast. We took a Jill pill. So our podcast is going to be listening to your podcast and then commenting on it. Oh my gosh.
We're famous. You mentioned us on national TV. Wait a minute.
Wait, do you think that our We Just Took a Jill Pill is going to become...
It's a thing.
Are we going to become more famous than Take a Jill Pill? I don't even remember the name of your... What's your podcast called?
What's the name of that again?
Because ours is very famous now. We took a Jill Pill.
We got mentioned.
This is the highlight of our week. So thank you for highlighting us.
I just think it's funny. You guys are welcome to send me voice notes and I can put them on here if you want. You can just send them in Instagram or maybe I need to make a phone number so you guys can text me and stuff. There's a lot of communication going on though. I gotta just DM me. You can do audio messages in there. Just DM me on Instagram, JiPi Music or Take a Jill Pill podcast if you want to make your voice known on the airwaves here. All right. I love it. I love it so much. A lot of people want to talk about this, and I told you I would. We're going to talk about the Dunkin' Donuts pink left-handed glove, okay? If you don't know, I need to make a highlight on my Instagram so you can go watch this story because Dunkin' Donuts, as you know, it's my kryptonite. I love their marketing. I love everything about it. I grew up on it. It's just part of who I am. Well, they had this giveaway this week, and I have to credit one of my followers / listeners. I'm not going to say your name because I don't know if you want me to say your name, but I have to credit someone, you know who you are, who notified me that this was happening. And I wrote back to her and I was like, is this real? This can't be real. They were giving away left-handed gloves, like ski mitten gloves, like legit winter gloves, just the left-handed one. They're pink and they say Dunkin' on them because they dropped donuts, which we could get into another time, but it's just Dunkin' now. It's not Dunkin' Donuts, whatever. Anyway, you could go in, if you bought an iced coffee, you'd get a pink glove to keep your iced coffee hand warm, which apparently is your left-handed. Is your left hand? This is a problem to start with because if I'm going to get an iced coffee, I got to drive there probably, right? So I have to be in my car. I'm putting the drink in my cup holder with my right hand and driving with my left hand. So I kind of need the right glove, to be honest, Duncan. That was a little miss. A lot of people pointed that out. But anyway, The whole thing was just a marketing ploy to get people to go in, buy an iced coffee, get the free glove, and then take a picture of it on social media and promote the heck out of Dunkin' Donuts. And I'm the sucker who was like, heck yeah, I'm doing that. Why would I not go get a free glove? Okay. So I did. And I don't know. I'm a grown woman. Okay. I don't like really act or look like one, but I am. I could be a grandmother practically, let's not go crazy, but I'm not young. I'm not like in my 20s. Okay. But I just feel like you got to do stuff like this or else you get boring, right? Like, I don't want to be boring. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go get one of these gloves. Why the heck not? So I get in my car. You had to be there at 10 o'clock. There's only going to be 20 gloves per location. I mean, there's like, I can get to like 5 Dunkin' Donuts in 5 minutes from where I live, to be honest. Probably maybe 3, but still, there's a lot, okay? So but I picked which one I'm going to go to. It's kind of my standard Dunkin' Donuts. And I got there at like 9:55, and I usually go through the drive-thru, but I was like, I feel like I need to go in and like ask to make sure, like, are the gloves do you have to ask for the glove? I was nervous. I felt like the biggest nerd ever and like kind of loser because I'm like, I don't know why I care about this, but I'm going to get this glove. So I went in, before I ordered my iced coffee, because I had really already had coffee that day. I mean, it was 10 o'clock. I'm drinking my coffee at like 6, So before I ordered the iced coffee, which I really didn't need, I just go up to the counter and I said to the guy, he's like, hey, what can I get you? And I was like, do you have the gloves? like a drug deal. Okay. I was like, do you have the gloves? And he just kind of looked at me and smiled. He's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll have a medium cold brew with hazelnut and cream. That's my go-to order. Somebody asked me in listener questions, what's my go-to Dunkin' order? So instead of waiting, I'm just going to tell you now, it's a medium cold brew with hazelnut and cream. Okay. Usually. Their cold brew is so much better than their iced coffee. I'll get their iced coffee if I have like a free one or something, but their cold brew, it's worth a little bit extra money. So anyway, I order it and then he like goes to the back and pulls out the pink glove and slides it to me. And I will tell you, I felt like there were 2 kids, they were probably like 20 next to me and they were there for that too. And they kind of were like looking at me. And I was like, yeah, but they were together. Like I was just the loser loner person. I would normally go do this with like friends or something, but I just, I didn't have anyone to go with. So I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be brave. So anyway, we kind of looked at each other and I'm sure they were like, wow, lady. But anyway, I got my glove and I got my coffee and I don't know. I mean, I walked out of the store and this other woman who's older than me, I think everyone's older than me, but she was definitely older than me. She was probably like, I don't know, she probably really was a grandmother. And she was walking past me. She got out of her car and she's like, oh, you got the glove? And I was like, they still have some. And she was like, oh my gosh. I was like, okay, I'm not as much of a loner as I thought. Like, I'm just a sucker for it. It's like, you know what, guys? It's hard. Winter's long. Life's tough. I'm not in like the most positive season of my life right now. So if I can get a little free pink mitten and warm my hand while I drink my iced coffee, why am I not going to do that? All right. You got to find joy where you can find it. So that's how it went. I mean, I think the staff in there was kind of like, oh boy, here we go. But it wasn't like, I mean, I heard in Boston, there were places that were just like the line was crazy and they ran out of them in like, 5 seconds. And people were, I heard in one store, some guy was like so mad. He like dumped the iced coffee all over the floor when he didn't get his glove, which is a little extreme, but hey, we're a little extreme up here and you can't blame us because it's been a rough winter. But I did also see, somebody told me this, there is one pink glove on eBay right now for $300. So I'm just saying, like, this could be what finally gets me to that next level. You know what I mean? I'm just kidding. But I do have a lot of questions about it. Like, where's the right, because they didn't just order, 20,000, however many however many gloves, just the one side. Because those gloves, I just know a lot about merchandising. They don't have just the one. There's the right hand ones are out there somewhere. So I have a feeling they're going to do some other promo. And maybe they're going to be like, whoops, we messed up because do you drink your iced coffee with your left hand? Like my friend Valerie was like, wait a second, am I ambidextrous for drinking iced coffee? Like, I've never thought about it. And I'm like, that's actually a really good point. I am ambidextrous, by the way, not with iced coffee, just in general, just a fun fact. But yeah, I don't know, like why the left-handed glove. I don't know. Anyway, I have it. It's now a prized possession. It's cute. It's comfortable. It's a little bulky. So it's actually a mitten, not a glove, right? I do kind of prefer gloves because you're kind of limited with a mitten with how much movement you have in your hands. Wow, guys, we are still talking about this. You know, it was a highlight of my week, honestly, because I had some other really crazy stuff happen this week. So that was a little gem, a little glimmer of hope, you know, for the future. Anyway, you guys are the best, by the way. All you guys are sending me this new Dunkin promo that's coming out. That's like a bucket. It's like a drink bucket you can get. I don't know, guys, if I need a bucket of iced coffee, but I could do it for the gram. I could do it for the pod. So I don't know. I might, if I can figure out when that is. My life is, you know, it's not that interesting, but you do what you got to do. But yeah, somebody asked me, this was another question. Talk to me about the love of Dunkin' marketing. Is it the colors? Is it the commercials? What is it that sets it apart from Starbucks? And it's like all of the above. I mean, part of it is just Dunkin' Donuts. I grew up on it. Like every day before, when I would drive to high school, I would stop and get a nice coffee, or really a coffee colada, which don't even get me started. So it's just like, it's always just been who I am, you know, when we were kids, like that's where you would go on Saturdays, you get donuts and stuff. But they have really upped their marketing. The colors, yes. Pink, you know, orange is my favorite color. And the pink with the orange, I'm just here for it, as you know, from Valentine's, pink and red. But the orange is even more fun for me. I don't know. I guess it's just creative. They're creative. Their commercial, they had the Dunkin' Donuts commercial for the Super Bowl, which I thought was okay. I thought it could have been better, if I'm honest. Tom Brady made an appearance, which was weird because he's kind of like shunned to New England now. And I'm like, but you're going to go on the Dunkin' commercial? I don't know, Tommy. What are you doing? But they did have like the Friends people and Seinfeld. So it was good. I just think they're creative. I think the people who work there have fun. You can tell that with their jobs, they're having a good time. They're having fun. And I think that just like, you can see that. And I think I enjoy that. I'm someone who likes fun. I've decided, you know, I've decided that. So that's all I have to say about Dunkin' and their marketing. But you guys really came through with your responses for that. And I'm doing this for you guys. I mean, yeah, I got the glove and that's great, but we're all in this together. And if you got a little joy out of it, cheers to that. All right, moving on. All right, let's talk about aliens. So recently on a podcast, Barack Obama, I'm not going to get into politics. Don't come at me with like politics stuff because I don't care. I don't want to talk about it. I'm just saying names that were in a part of this week. Okay. So Barack Obama was on some podcast and somehow said like basically that, yeah, aliens are real. Like, yeah. And then Trump, someone asked him about it and this is me very much summarizing this, but he was like, I mean, well, we should just like declassify this stuff about aliens. So he's like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to have them do that on Friday or whatever day. I have been looking. I don't think they did because I think a lot of other stuff is going on. So it's probably not like top of mind necessarily, although it is for me. But I was like waiting on Friday. I'm like, this is like disclosure day. We're going to actually find out the truth about aliens because I told you we're going to talk about conspiracy theories. I wouldn't say aliens are my favorite. Obviously, you know, Garth Brooks is my favorite conspiracy theory. Aliens is a good one, though, because I feel like everyone's comfortable talking about aliens. Whether you believe in them or not, there's been enough. There are movies and, it's like you have kind of a visual of what you think an alien looks like. They're enough in our sphere, in our creative realm, that we can talk about it without being like, whoa, So I definitely want to know what we know about aliens, because there's obviously more out there than we know. And I definitely think there are aliens. I don't know what they look like. I don't think they necessarily look like what you see, on your emojis or whatever, although those are cool looking. But I just don't think we are here alone. Like, this planet and world is so big and crazy. You think it's just about us, like being like, well, I'm going to work today, and then what am I going to make for dinner? No, I think there's aliens out there being like, bro, you're worried about dinner? I don't know. I don't really know what they're doing or thinking, but I definitely think there's more out there. So I want to know. Do they live in space? Do they live on Mars or like Jupiter? Is that still a planet? What's the one that's not a planet? I'm not a science person, guys. I was terrible in science. Ask me about like my 5-year-old goddaughter and my cousin's little 4-year-old girl. They know way more about the solar system than I do. They'll like be listing planets and I'm like, I forgot that one was actually a planet. I don't know anything about space. So this is not a technical thing. But do they live on other planets, or do they live, don't get crazy, watch out, I'm about to get crazy here. Do they live in like a different, dimension that's like a space or time dimension? I'm laughing at myself because I'm sitting here alone talking about this, and I can't see how people are reacting, and I can just imagine. But I hope you're with me, okay? Because I don't think they're out there to really hurt us or anything, because they would have done that by now. And if they do, well, okay. I mean, things are kind of crappy anyway right now. So what do you got, But I just want to believe there's more than what we're dealing with in front of us. Do you guys remember a couple years ago? I just thought of this. Remember in New York, there were like all those drones, and then there was like balloons or something, and everyone was like, what is happening? And we kind of just were like, I don't know. I guess it is what it is. What was that? And then it just went away. Do you think that was aliens? Do you think that was like just people messing with us? Do you think it was some other country? What was that, guys? That was so weird. And I feel like we all are just like, whatever, I don't know. I just think there's more out there. So I do want to know more about aliens. And I was hoping by now we would have that declassified information, but I don't have it yet. So not that I think if I'm a true conspiracy theorist, right? Do I think the declassified information is really legit anyway? I don't know, guys. Question everything. But like, did we walk on the moon? Speaking of space, do you think we walked on the moon? I'm not convinced of it. I'm just not. If you do a little research, and if we did, why haven't we gone back really? And why, when we go to space, do we send people like Katy Perry to space? Why did Katy Perry go to space? That blows my mind. I feel like Katy Perry comes up a lot on here. She's actually involved she's the center of a lot of conspiracy theories when you really think about it. I think I mentioned that some people think Katy Perry is actually John Benet Ramsey, which would be wild. I would be so here for that one. I mean, not really, because it's like, I don't know. But anyway, why did she go to space, And like, why are we not on the moon constantly? Why didn't she go to the moon? I don't know. If I could go to the moon, that'd be cool, right? Nobody's gone back to the moon, right? What are we doing? I don't think we went to the moon. Look it up. All right. I'm just letting loose here today. I don't know, aliens. I do believe in angels. I definitely think there are angels, and I think there are these, I don't know if they walk among us. I think sometimes they do. I have certain like encounters do you ever have an encounter? If you guys have ever had an encounter with an alien or an angel, call me. I want to talk about that. But I think I've had encounters with angel type figures. I don't know. I think they could walk among us, but I also think there's this other kind of dimension. I'm a very like supernatural, spiritual, woo-woo person now. And I've always been, like I grew up spiritual and stuff like that. But I do think there's something beyond just this little lame not that Earth is lame, but, our little life. And I think there's deeper things. Like, even when you meet certain people, there's certain connections where you're like, do I know them from somewhere? Do I know them from a different life? Because it's like so familiar and you've never met them. I'm thinking about that because I'm watching Love is Blind right now. Oh man, that's just such good television if you just need to kind of zone out and forget about aliens and stuff. But Love is Blind, and they're like, I think we were meant to meet at this time and I've known you from another universe. And it's kind of cheesy and whatever and romantic-ish. But I don't even think it's always romance. I think sometimes it's just like people you meet and you're like, I definitely feel this like weird connection. Like I've known you before. Anyway, I do believe in all that. I don't get super hung up on it because I don't really know what you can do about it, but I think it's fun to kind of think about. So maybe we'll find out more about the aliens. I think they're going to be friendly. I don't think they're going to harm us. I think they're just like, what's up, guys? I think they're chill. They haven't messed with us yet. So I think they're kind of like, I picture kind of like California stoner dudes, like just surfer alien dudes, I've never thought about like a girl alien. I only think about kind of surfer dude aliens from California that are just like, what up, bro? Wow, guys, this is fun. Are you having fun? Because I'm having a blast. Why did Katy Perry go to space? All right, I don't know if we'll ever know that. There has to be a reason. They weren't just like, what's a great idea? Let's send Katy Perry to space. Why? Okay. E.T., she does have that song Extraterrestrial. You know what I'm talking about? Her music got super weird there for a while. I don't know. Maybe she knows something about the aliens we don't know. So if we do find out anything more about the aliens, I will definitely do another episode about it. But that's kind of all I really want to talk about for that today because I feel like I'm getting weird. I'm losing you a little bit. I'm losing you when you guys are like, you're getting too woo-woo, Jill. Bring it back to like something we can tolerate and kind of that's palatable. So that's what I'm going to do. Did you hear the story about the woman on TikTok who wrote a jingle for Dr. Pepper? Just like on a whim, she just was like, Dr. Pepper, whatever. I can't remember how it goes. It's good, like something. It was just like being silly and funny. And she was like, hey, Dr. Pepper, here's your jingle. I don't even know if I saw the actual video. TikTok's crazy for this though. So Dr. Pepper found this and they partnered with her to create a commercial for the Super Bowl and they used her jingle in the Dr. Pepper commercial. And rumor on the street is she made $2 million off of it. That seems like a lot, but it's possible. I certainly haven't made that much from my jingles, but listen, there's still time. That's crazy. That's what's actually cool about social media. I know there's a lot of bad stuff, but there's cool opportunities that do happen from that. And this woman is now the voice of Dr. Pepper, which is the coolest thing ever. And now all these people are trying to do it with other companies, which I should do one for Dunkin', don't you think? But it's done now. It's done. Like you can't, she figured that out. It's not going to be the same. But that got me thinking about jingles. I love jingles. Like, I think I told you you obviously know about the Take a Jill pill the Take a Jill pill jingle, which isn't necessarily my best work, but it is what it is. But I've written jingles for a couple other podcasts and different things. And I love it because it's a challenge. It brings in like songwriting and also marketing. And it also has to be short and concise and clever. There's a lot there. And so I like the challenge of a jingle. All right. But I figured I would just drop my top 5 jingles for you guys today because I think you're going to know all of them. If you're from the US, if you're from Europe or other places, sorry, this might be a little bit of a tougher segment for you. But do you remember I had the Special K jingle in Europe? I was on a Special K commercial. I didn't write the song actually, but I did sing it. So that's for you. If you're in Europe and the UK, you can listen to that and get to know these other jingles. But here we go. I'm going to preface a few things. There are jingles that are more like full songs, okay? And I'm going to try to not include those in here, although I do have a list that I think are really well done. Like for instance, Oscar Mayer Wiener, right? I wish I were an Oscar Mayer wiener. There's a whole song, and that's a great one. Everyone knows that one. Or probably the best song of all time. You're going to laugh at this. And it's a recent one. This one does not have longevity, okay? This is new-ish, a couple years. But it's the A1C. I'm lowering my A1C. You remember that one? I take my daily Jardian. I hope I don't get clipped for I don't know, copyright on this podcast episode because I'm going to be singing some jingles for you. Anyway, that song was it's the most annoying thing ever, right? But that song was hooky as anything I've ever heard. And then they tried to change it and it just wasn't the same after that. But anyway, so there's full songs, but I'm going to give you my top 5 jingles in the best order that I can come up with. Okay, so here we go. Coming in at number 5, we're going to go with Kit Kat. Give me a break, break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. You know, they go way down. Kit Kat bar. I mean, give me a break. That was kind of a full song, but it's a jingle. And you remember the visual of just people snapping the Kit Kat bar and they're skateboarding. It was just such a good feeling song. And I kind of want a Kit Kat now, you know? Give me a break, break me off a piece of that Kit Kat. So good, guys, so good. Number 5, Kit Kat. Number 4, not a company that excites me necessarily, but kind of a practical company if you're an adult. And you're going to know it as soon as I start it, okay? It's just the phone number. People have made full jingles with phone numbers. I'll give a few more examples of that, but this one is 800-588-2300 Empire Today, right? The today, though, dropping that today right at the end as a word instead of the song. Guys, you all remember that number. And if you need flooring or carpeting, you're going to know it. It's going to be in your head. And you're like, I guess I'll just call Empire Today because I know the number already because it's stuck in my head. I do think it's very annoying, but you know it. You sang along with me, right? 588-2300 Empire Today. You know, you got it. It's just right there for you. There was, I don't want to mess up my top 5. So I'll come back and talk a little bit more about some of the numbers ones. But coming in at number 3, if you were a child of the 90s and 2000s, and specifically if you're a woman, you're going to remember this and it's going to give you the feels in a weird way, I promise, because this one was a little ooh, and it's going to be Nair. And it was, who wears short shorts? She wears short shorts. If you dare wear short shorts, Nair for short shorts. And we all knew about Nair. It was the nastiest smelling. I should do top 5 smells or worst smells. Nair would be number 1. Worst smell of, hated it. But, our options were limited with hair removal at that time in our lives. And Nair was out there being if you want to wear short shorts, you're going to have, we have the fix for you. And their song was just on point. I mean, their jingle was just right there and it worked. You know what I mean? So Nair coming in hot at number 3. Thank God that's out of our lives. It's out of our lives, right? That's out of my life. Anyway, coming in at number 2. This is a great one. Man, this was the song of my childhood. Before I even drank coffee, before I became a Dunkin' Donuts stan, which this doesn't have to do with Dunkin' Donuts, but it does have to do with coffee. Number 2, the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. Yeah, you know it. It is. And Folgers coffee is really not anything to write home about. But that song, it was the song of my childhood. It felt so good. It just is such a feel-good song. And I loved it. And I still think that's one of the best jingles, obviously, because it's on my list. So there's the top 4. And I think this is probably too obvious coming in at number 1. We all know it. and we can't get away from it. And it's a $1 billion song, you know, and franchise probably. But it's ba-da-ba-ba-ba. You know it. I'm loving it. All right. That one is just, it's genius. It's right there for you. And love it or hate it, McDonald's, you know that jingle. So that was pretty simple. Listen, that's the top 5. We got Kit Kat, Empire, Nair, Folgers, and McDonald's. That's just my take. There are so many. I spent some time. I was driving in the car the other day thinking about this. I probably think about this stuff too much, but listen, you know, you do what you got to do. I'm here for you. I'm doing this research for you. So no, I was thinking about these and I was like, man, there are a lot of songs and jingles. Like Liberty Mutual has a pretty annoying one, but Liberty, 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 you know, that's a good one. And what about 877 Cash Now? That's another phone number one. Also, guys, Toys R Us was a big one. I don't want to grow up, you know that. And I was thinking about from my childhood, the Double Mint Gum commercial. Do you guys remember this? Double your refreshment. You know, remember that? Anyway, that was no single gum double freshens your mouth like double mint. Go on and double it. I won't do this to you all day. But that was a good one, except I had nightmares about that commercial. There were twins. The commercials for Double Mint was all like twins. And there were these 2 blonde twin girls that would like run down the street. And I had nightmares about them chasing me and like other twins in the commercial chasing me down the street. So that commercial was a little traumatic for me, if I'm being honest. But Double Mint, that was great. I mean, there were a lot of great jingles, especially there used to be even more, but there's still some pretty good ones coming out now. So that's the top 5. And I feel like I would be remiss. I feel like I'm going to get a lot of people writing in if I don't talk about this. And so I'm going to cover it. I'm going to talk about the worst jingle, in my opinion. And when I say worst, I'm saying that I hate it. Okay. I hate it when I hear it. It's like nails on the chalkboard, you know, like just, gives me the heebs. But it's brilliant. I mean, it's pretty well done. And it's another phone number one. And if you haven't guessed it yet, think harder because you're going to know when I start it, okay? 1877 cars for kids. Oh, there's so much wrong with that. It's the commercials of the kids fake playing instruments. It's the song, it's the cars with a K. If you know me at all, that bothers me, you know? Why? Why does it have to be a K? Cars for kids. It's kids. We should be teaching them how to spell correctly. Like, I don't love that. I don't love anything about Cars for Kids. I think it's probably a good company. I mean, I think they're probably doing good work. I have no hate for the actual company, but that song drives me right into like a crazy town, you know? So that would be my worst jingle. But I just love jingles. I love marketing and music, and it puts them together. And I also like, you might not know this because this is a long form, but I like being concise. Like, I don't love a lot of extra words. I hear myself right now. This is a long podcast. I hear what you're hearing. But if you know me at all, like, I like to keep it to the point. I'm not really a fluffy person. So I love a jingle in that it just gets the point across with music and quickly in a creative way. It's just like it's a perfect thing. So that's all I have to say about my top 5 jingles, I think. Other than, I know wherever you grew up, you have a few jingles that are local ones that you're like, man, that was a banger, you know? Like, for instance, in New England, New Hampshire, we have Water Country. It's like a big water park, and their jingle, water country. I mean, everyone knows it. It's a banger. Red's Shoe Barn, Ben's Auto Body, Bernie and Phil's. This is just for my local people. I know you have these where you're from, because if you're not from here, you don't care. But I know in your little town, Podunk, whatever, you got some jingles in your head that you're like, man, that pizza place had a jam for a jingle, you know, back in the day. Anyway, I just think it's something we can all come together on. You know what I mean? And if you have a favorite jingle that I missed, which I'm sure I did, let me know. I always love hearing from you. So there we go. Top 5. I know these are like hard-hitting topics, you guys. And so I hope you're hanging in there. I hope this isn't like too deep for you to where you're like, wow, Jill, I need you to just like take it down a notch. This is too intense, you know? I'm trying to keep it light, but I know it gets a little dark. Just kidding. All right. How we doing out there? You know, I need to check in on you. Are you doing all right? Okay. I think it's that time to move on to listener questions. And then, you know, after that, wrap it up with some parting words. But you guys are sending in some great questions. And so I'm going to address some of them here. All right. One of my favorite, this is one of my favorite questions. What is your beige flag? Which is such a great term, right? Because red flag is, you know, red flag's like, whoa. Green flag is like just bragging about. I think you're asking my beige flag like about me. I don't know if you're asking about in another person, a beige flag. I'm going to go with my own because beige flags and red and green flags depend on like what the relationship is too with other people sometimes. So I don't know who you're asking about. So I'm going to go with my beige flag. Like if someone might have a beige flag about me. And if you don't know what a beige flag is, here's the definition. It's a neutral, quirky, or slightly odd habit that you may have. Okay. It's not like something that someone's going to like break up with you over, or I don't know, maybe they would, but anyway, this is my beige flag. I talk to other drivers, like when I'm driving, I have like conversations with them kind of. It's like, and not full blown conversations, but you know, it's sort of like, cool blinker, bro. Like when they don't put their blinker on, like really cool. I didn't realize, you know, Honda pilots don't have blinkers now. And I'll just kind of be snarky. Or like if someone does let me in, I'm like, man, that was super awesome of you. Like, thank you. You're cool. We could be friends. I will just say a little comment. Like I'll talk to myself. And I think that's kind of quirky and weird. And I do talk to other drivers. And I think what makes it a beige flag versus a red flag is I used to have pretty bad like road rage, and I've really dialed that back. I could drop a middle finger like no one's business. My whole life, ever since I've been driving, I don't know why, it's just that inner 9 rage in me can come out. And so I've stopped. Obviously, that's not a good trait. And I've tried to just keep it calm now and just talk to them like, hey, man, would be super cool if you'd put your blinker on there, like, you know, or like, hey, that would be so awesome if you just let me in. Cause like I have nowhere else to go. So you could just let me in. I'll just say things like that. I'll say it even if there's other people in my car, not just if I'm alone in my car. But I think that's kind of a beige flag. Cause like, that's weird. Like just relax, Jill. You know what I mean? Just let it go. Everyone's doing the best they can. But I will talk to other drivers. And so maybe that's my beige flag. Does that count? I don't know. That's what I would say. All right. Another question. How often do you go somewhere just to get the free stuff? Is this becoming my personality? The glove was free with the purchase of an iced drink, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that before. The Dunkin glove. A lot of people did ask me that. But it's not, I mean, I don't go places to get free stuff. I'm not someone who goes and like waits in long lines to do that. If there's an opportunity in front of me and it's kind of fun, I feel like my friends and I would do this sort of stuff. Like, I'm not going to go try to get the red Starbucks cup. So it does kind of matter what is the free stuff, you know? Oh, I did. Now that I think about it, maybe you're asking this because a couple years ago, there was a new Dunkin' Donuts that opened. Here I go again. In the town next to me, and the first 100 people got free coffee for a year. I did go wait in that line, and it wasn't even that long. I live in a small area. Like you can kind of get away with stuff. Like people don't know all that. Like there's not that many people here. So I did do that, but maybe I just go wait for free Dunkin' Donuts stuff. I don't know if I've ever done that for other stuff. I'm not that person really. Maybe I am, you know, when you all of a sudden are like, oh my gosh, am I that person? But I wouldn't say I do it for other things. I don't like a line that much, so I'm not really going to do it. I do it for the gram, guys. I do it for the gram and I do it for the pod and Dunkin' Donuts. That's it. That's really it. All right. This was a great question. It's a little more serious. I mean, it's not too serious, but do you believe that AI has a place as a tool in legitimate music creation? And I love this question because AI is obviously taking over so many different areas of our lives. And I'm okay with it. Like ChatGPT is very helpful in certain things. And I'm okay with it helping with some medical stuff. Like I've had to navigate a lot of medical stuff with my parents of like, and asking AI like what questions to ask or like anything about that is super helpful. There's a lot about AI that I'm okay with, even though I am like I'm a little bit hesitant about like robots and conspiracies, but you kind of have to welcome it at this point, right? Because it's everywhere anyway. But with music, I've had this conversation with a couple producers that I work with, and because I want their opinions on it, because I'm a purist when it comes to music a little bit. I'm like the guitar and the piano and a song that is written without the help of like, I don't even like using like the rhyming dictionary. A lot of songwriters will use that, or, a thesaurus or whatever. I don't love it. I love to create music purely from my soul. I know, like again, accept my woo-woo-ness, guys. But when it comes to music, it's such a pure form. It's such a part of who I am, and I love it so much. I love writing. The feeling of writing a song and completing it to me is like pure elation. That is what just like brings me a lot of joy and fulfillment. And so I have been anti-AI when it comes to making music and writing music. But I've talked to a lot of producers who are like, man, it is super helpful to like build a track and have ideas, have different ideas that AI just comes up with in a second. And so I'm trying to be open-minded about it. I think what it is for me is like, I don't love it from a writing perspective. I don't love using AI. When it comes to like sounds and the audio and like coming up with production ideas, I'm more open to it, because if you think about it, we are using, like electronic sounds that are already pre-programmed and stuff anyway. So this is getting nerdy. I know, a little bit. I'm trying to keep it not as nerdy, but we're kind of already using that in a lot of things. But I am a purist in that I love live music with no tracks. I'm okay with tracks and stuff, but I love just hearing music in its purest form, like just an instrument and a vocal or something like that. So I'm on the fence. I don't know. I'm trying to evolve and know that it's part of the industry and it's part of what's happening. But as someone who's been making music since I was a kid, it's just such a part. It's healing for me, and it's such a part of who I am that I tend to be like, I don't know. I don't love AI coming into the mix, but it's out there. It is out there. It's done. It's part of music creation for sure. So I have to accept it on some level. But that was a great question. I could debate that question for a while. I hope kids still learn how to like play music and like play by ear and all that stuff that I learned, because I don't know, it feels like such a gift to me. That's like, it's such a part of who I am. I would hate if that goes away. But anyway, one more question. All right. If you could only eat one food for a month, what would you eat? Yeah, guys, that's so hard, I do have an answer though. It's not that it's my favorite food, but I think it's something that I wouldn't get sick of, and that you could eat for you get a little sick of it, but I could eat it for every meal. It's like some people would say like pizza, but I don't want to wake up and eat pizza. I just don't, or I don't, there's certain things. But I think if I could only eat one food for a month, it would be like peanut butter toast. I know that's kind of two foods, but just, will you give that to me? Toast, or like an English muffin maybe with butter and peanut butter. And that's it. I could make that work for a month, I think. It's just a solid item. It's not getting too crazy. It's kind of a little protein in the peanut butter. Gosh, are you sick of protein right now? I'm so sick of it, like hearing about it. But you got the protein, you got the carbs, you got a little, there's a little bit of stuff going on there. I don't really care about that, but I just like it. I like peanut butter and I like toast. So what would you eat? Oh, I'm going to ask this on Instagram because I want to know what you would pick. All right, guys, that was fun. For me, it was fun. I hope you're still here. If you're still here, let's wrap it up with your dose, your weekly dose, your Jill pill for the week. And here's what it is. These are my parting words to you today. And this comes from the story about the Dr. Pepper lady, okay? Because I want to tie that in. Maybe we don't have to try so hard. You know what I mean? Like, what if we don't try so hard? I don't know. I just think this woman just was like, Dr. Pepper, it's good. I don't think she spent her life trying to become a jingle writer. Maybe she did, but I have a feeling she just opened her phone and was like, Dr. Pepper, you need a jingle. Here's my jingle. She didn't try that hard. And I think I love that. I love that mentality because I think there's a lot of things in my life where I just try too hard, you know? And I would like to be more chill and just not try as hard. So maybe for you, maybe there's something in your life that you're like, I'm really trying hard for this. And maybe you just back it off a bit. Just let it happen. Just don't try so hard. You know that Colby Calais song? You don't have to try so hard. That's a good one. I've had people like hear Colby Calais in like a grocery store and they're like, I heard your song in the grocery store. And I'm like, I doubt it. But everyone thinks I sound like Colby Calais. This is a rant. This is a side note. It's not your parting dose. I guess I maybe sound like Colby Calais, but people are like, no, I heard you. I heard you in Market Basket. And I'm like, I swear you didn't, or else things would be different for me if you heard me in Market Basket over the loudspeakers, you know? Anyway, we don't have to try so hard, guys. That's all. Let's maybe not. Does that work? Is that helpful? I don't know. If it's not, flush that pill down the toilet and we'll try again next week. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Feel free to leave a rating and review or a comment on Spotify if you resonated with something in this. And you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, all the places, JiPi Music and Take a Jill Pill Podcast. Or you can email me, takeajillpillpod@gmail.com. And for real, like send in a voice note this week if you want to be maybe featured. I don't know. It could be fun. We could add that to the mix. I appreciate you being here. And I hope if we do find out more about the aliens, that they're nice and that we can just hang out and like be like, bro, you want to go to In-N-Out or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I hope the aliens are like, guys. All right. All right. Hope you have a great week. We'll talk next time. And be good. Take a Jill pill. Bye.